On behalf of LVPEI Institute, we invite you all to this In Conversation series talk show. To start off, I would like to now invite Dr. Beulah Christie, Head of Institute for Vision Rehabilitation, to give away the welcome address.
Hi everyone. I'm so excited to introduce our guest speaker today, Rachit Kulshrestha. So Rachit, he hails from Pune, India. His journey is a real life example of never giving up and finding strength in tough times. So just to brief you about his background, Rachit, when he was 6 years old, he battled cancer, and as a result, his arms had to be removed. Imagine the challenges as a child he would have faced in such a young age. But Rajit didn't let that setback define him. And his battle didn't stop there. He faced more new challenges his way. When he was 27, again cancer reoccurred, and this time it affected his leg. But again, he never lost his positive spirit. His life story is a testament to the resilience that people can have. He's a true inspiration for all of us. So he shaped his life the way he wanted, cultivating his hobbies, and he's a lover and he pursued his passion and sport, especially in cycling. So, despite his physical challenges, he proved that strong determination can move even mountains. Yes, he cycled 550 kilometers on the tough Manali to Garavdan track and mastered the challenge 530 kilometers long Nilgiri route. So Rachit, he's working at Amazon, where his work never give up, and then he's a shining star in Amazon too. So his life story teaches us to stay strong and to be positive no matter what comes on our way. As we listen to him today, let's find inspiration in his story of never giving up. So, like all of you, I'm also so eager to listen to him. So, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Rachit Kulshrestha, a true example of bravery, determination, and inspiration. On behalf of LVPEI Institute and the Institute for Vision Rehabilitation, a warm welcome to each one of you. So, thank you for attending the session.
Thank you for those kind words and thank you so much, everyone. My name is Rachit.
We are honored to have you here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Christie. We are all excited to listen to what Rachit has got to say. So Rachit, welcome once again, and we are very happy to have you here. Let's start off with the questions, because we've been waiting for so long, and I'm sure our participants also have been waiting. um, when we type your name on Google and we look up for you, there are so many things that we come across. Like, people talk about you, organizations talk about you. So tell us five adjectives about yourself, Rachit. If you were to define yourself in 5 words, how would you describe yourself?
Aishwarya, if I have to describe myself in 5 words, I'm an adventurist. I'm a goal-oriented person. I like to have a lot of fun. I'm a very joyful person. I've made peace with the past, and I have and I just follow a simple mantra in life: just be a better person than yesterday.
That's wonderful, Rachit. Rachit, so coming back to your life, you were diagnosed with cancer at the age of 6. How was that? Like, what happened? We want to know, like, how was it at that time? Do you remember? Do you have any memories? the memory of before that, like I know I read that, like because of the cancer your hand left hand had to be amputated. So do you remember, do you have the memory of using your left hand, and what cancer did to you back then?
Yes, at the age of 6, I had osteogenic sarcoma. I do remember there is very faded memories because I was 6 years old when this happened, and today I'm 36. And what I remember, I used to play. I was a very notorious child, and I used to play a lot. And I liked being all over the place and everywhere. And when this cancer happened, I remember the first incident that happened is my parents got me a fruity. I was in the hospital, and but when I was so young that where the mind does not realize what has happened. I was like every other regular child. I just wanted to play and have a lot of fun, and it did not. I didn't think much about it because I used to. I love playing sports as a child, so I used to just look for an opportunity to go out there and play cricket. And I remember that I when I lost my hand, I didn't see it as a bad thing or a good thing or what has happened. I just wanted to play, and I tried to pursue my life the way everybody else does. And I remember that I started to face challenges, but I started to get used to it as I was learning from every lesson and every chapter of life.
Beautiful. It's so, it's true when they say, in childhood, when you go through hardships, it's very easy to take it when you're a child, and you surely have shown that. After post the cancer, I'm sure like you must have joined a regular school, and you might have got on with your classes and having your classmates around. How was your life then? Did you slowly start, did it slowly start sinking in, like, for you it's not like others, like you just had one arm, and when you used to see other kids, how did they accept it? Like, what was your experience after you joined school again?
Very honestly, as children, we are all silly and we all tend to do things without having a better understanding at that young, tender age. So at first, I have gone through the series of experience which made me feel excluded. And it is funny, my friends used to think that they'll probably get cancer because of me by even just being around me. I think, and this goes so back, and there was no internet, there was a very different time. But now the same people are actually my best of friends today. So I can understand that we were all children that time.
Hmm.
But there were a lot of people who supported me and who always told me to, do not give up and follow your dreams, follow the things that you really want to do in your life. And I just kept moving forward.
That's amazing, Rachit. Rachit, I have some, you from the time we started having this conversation, you mentioned you were very mischievous and naughty kid. So could you narrate to us about any incident that, during your childhood, that you played a prank or you had a joke with your friends in relation to your arm? Because knowing you, I met you at Abelora, and you're somebody, the first thing you said is, the way one starts accepting your disability when you actually make a fun out of it. So that is the reason why I'm asking you this. How was it like? Did you play any mischief with your friends in relation to you having one arm?
So when I retrospect on this and I go back to those days, I have a better understanding today. I'm the youngest one in the house, so that makes me the most pampered person in the house. And when I lost my hand, obviously it must have been very traumatic for my parents. So they always gave me that little sort of a special place in, because they felt bad for me. And was very notorious, like I mentioned. I remember in school, it was very difficult for me to sit in one place without doing anything. You cannot expect me. But yes, if you give me something to do, And I used to keep running everywhere, please, never feel sorry for me or any person with disability, because I used to be all over the class. And I remember my drawing teacher used to get so irritated with the mischief that I would bring on in the class. Just one person, me alone itself. Imagine the other bunch of students will also have their own part to play. And my drawing teacher used to be like, "This boy, he does not have one hand. He has 10 hands. He cannot sit in one place." So that was kind of the person I was. I remember. My parents used to be called often because because what happens is people look at me and then they wonder, okay, he doesn't have a hand, so they feel sorry for me, and they tend to but that doesn't mean that I cannot be naughty as a child. So they used to get really shocked to see that this boy can be so naughty. They didn't expect that. So I used to trouble everyone around me in the class. Always had this thought in my head. I'm sorry to say this, whether I could get away with it. So back in days. So and I had very and eventually my parents, my teachers had that special place in their heart for me, for as they could understand my disability better than I could understand it myself, because this goes way back in school when I'm talking about 9 and below age, 10 and below age. So I was very young and very vulnerable.
So,
And I
so
want
we
to
have Ravan. Yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
today I have transformed myself, where I have learned to make peace with my issues. I've had two cancers. I have a foot drop on my right leg. I do not have a complete left hand. And today, life gave me two simple options where I can sit and be upset about it, or the other option was to make peace and move forward with your life and do the best you can with your own potential. So eventually, I chose the second part, and and that gives me the opportunity to be present here and talking to all of you.
Thanks, Rachit. That's such a wonderful message there. So, from what you told, my mischief mind tells me Ravan for 10 heads, Rachit for 10 hands. So, thank you for sharing that story, and also thank you for sitting, because you said that your teachers used to find it difficult to make you sit at one place. I can imagine, you are sitting with us for this 1 whole hour and talking to us. We really appreciate that. So you mentioned about your family in this journey, Rachit, like your parents and all. So how was their support for you during this time, like when you were accepting your disability, when you were growing up into a teenager and then an adult? So how was their support during this time?
The biggest mistake I made back then as a child, I im- I applied these thoughts to to my brains, that because I do not have one hand, I will not be able to do a lot of things. That is the biggest mistake I made. And my parents were very supportive. My parents always, for example, I wanted to be a pilot, but very realistically looking at it, I could not be a pilot. So I used to get very disheartened. But my parents and my teachers had shown me so many examples of so many other persons with disability. For example, Beethoven himself cannot hear and he makes music. So all these sort of examples were shared with me, and I started to accept, and I started to, my parents have always been there with me till date, and so have my teachers. I'm very privileged and I'm very thankful to God that I got a lot of opportunities to learn, and I got a lot of care and guidance, because I think even disability works on duality. Of course, there's the other side of it that has got trauma and it's a difficult time in life. But the other side, the positive side, is that I got a lot of care, I got a lot of guidance, I got a lot of love, I got a lot of support from my friends, my parents. They always, they always wanted to fulfill my wish. My parents have sacrificed their own personal dreams and goals for me. So for that, I'm very thankful to my parents, my family, my teachers.
Great, Rachit. I'm sure they all adore you, and they're very happy that they have you in their lives. You mentioned that like a life is, it gives you two choices. One is to sit there and think about it, cry about it, and the other two is to when challenges come, make peace with it. So you grew up to be a gentle young man, and at the age of 27 you were diagnosed with your second cancer. How is that? Like, maybe at the age of 6 you might have not realized you would be okay, you had fruity at that time, but 27 I'm sure you would have realized what cancer is and what could happen. How did you take that, and how did you come out of it?
So this is a very interesting story, and there are two parts of it. I'll share the first part of it. Of course, it was a shock. I really did not expect that I would have a cancer, which I faced when I was 6 years old, and when I'm 27 years old, I did not even have the slightest hint or an idea that I'm actually going to get cancer again. So when I realized I have cancer, it came like a shock to me. I was really shocked. And just like any other human being, I thought, why me and why is this happening, and all those, those kind of questions. Then I realized that I was afraid that will I lose my leg in this whole surgery, because the second cancer lump was on my right leg, which is very close to the peroneal vein. Uh, those who may not know about the peroneal vein, that's the vein that makes your foot move up and down. So I have a foot drop on my right leg because they had to remove that vein. But I'm so thankful to the God and to the divine that at least I have my legs and at least I can still proceed my regular life. There will be challenges, but I've learned how to find an alternative or a solution to that challenge. And very honestly, some challenges cannot have a solution. So you just learn to embrace it and you just learn to live with it the way it is.
Mhm.
And the most beautiful thing is in 2000, I call this story, the second part of the story, I've named the story, Thank You God for Accident. In the previous year, 2022, I got myself a tattoo, which I am showing on those who may not be able to see me. I am trying to show a tattoo which is on my left side of my neck, which I got a cover up, and it's the wing of the angels. I got this tattoo done, and after I got this tattoo, I met with an accident where I had a seizure in my brains. So I could not, people tried to communicate with me in English, Hindi, and Marathi, and I was not able to communicate with anyone. I'm so thankful that my friend called my phone, and some gentleman out there mentioned that this boy is met with an accident. He's not talking to us. We do not know what to do. We do not know which hospital to put him in. Shall we put him in a government hospital or shall we put him in a reputed hospital? We do not understand anything. So immediately that friend of mine informed that gentleman that no, put him in the best hospital. Do not worry about anything. They called two ambulance, and whichever reached me first, they would hand me over to that ambulance and that hospital. Now here comes the interesting part of the story. When I went to that hospital, and I was in coma for 2 days. I I wasn't making any like everyone knows coma. I was not able to talk. I was completely unconscious. And when I was going through my CT scan, the technician warned my father that find something funny and silly, something very strange in the neck that I don't see very usually. You finish this whole episode first, but do come back to that neck. I do see something is definitely wrong out there. So we finished the whole surgery formality and the treatment and the protocol of finishing off all the tasks related to this. And then we realized that I have another cancer. I mean, I had another tumor on my neck, and I'm so thankful that to the divine that if that wasn't detected, I would be having a tumor in my body unknowingly, because it does not hamper your regular working life. I did not even have the slightest clue that I have a tumor in my neck, but I'm so thankful it wasn't cancerous. And somewhere the divine really wants me to stay awake and stay alive, because I'm so naughty. He knows he's going to be troubled upstairs. So he decided to, like, he warned me. And, because if that wasn't detected at the right time, that could lead to cancerous. And being inside the neck, it's more fatal and it becomes more risky. So, I always count my blessings that I've had two cancers, and I don't count the third one as cancer, but it is still, there is somewhere that divine that keeps me going, and and I have the energy and the potential to move forward with my life. I am I just want to add one last thing to this is I'm living independently today. I am not dependent on anybody. I pay my own bills, and this is this has happened because of my own potential and a lot of blessings and the gift that is given to me by all my teachers, and their power and their support. It's a combined team effort that brings me to where I am today, and I'm very thankful to God for that.
I'm sure you are loved and adored by the divine, and that's why it kept you safe. And we hope you go long way, Rachit. We really hope that, and thank you for sharing that. One another question, looking at your life, 6 years, then second cancer, and then the tumor. So has your thought process about life changed? What do you think of life? What is it? And has it changed you as an individual?
Yes, going through so many medical adversities and so many challenges which a regular able body does not face, but we do as a person with disability. I have transformed myself from being, I laugh on my disability. I crack jokes on my disability. I'm so happy that the other side of it, my deodorant lasts longer than the usual. If I get arrested, I'll never get handcuffed. I look at the other side of my disability. I laugh on my disability. I what I have really learned is, and what life has really taught me is that strength lies in adversity. So all that hardship that I've gone through, the other side today, when I have to look back at it, has made me a much stronger person. It has made me believe in myself, and I never give up. I will never give up. That is, the word give up is not in my dictionary. I don't sit and focus on what the things I cannot do, but I focus on the things that I can do and the things that is possible by me. I have been a cyclist, despite of having two cancers and not even able to cycle 1 kilometer after I finished my second surgery in 2014. I have done so many things where starting with I've cycled Manali to Khardungla, I have cycled Pune to Bombay, I have cycled across 4 states, I have cycled 200 kilometers and 300 kilometers under 29 hours non-stop. So I just want to strongly tell all human beings, whether you're an able body or a person with or an able body or a person with disability, to believe in yourself and push yourself and do the best you can. And that's what I would want to share with everyone.
Great, Rachit. Really, heartwarming to know your story. My next question was about the cycling, expedition. So I wanted to ask you about it. How, man, one ek haath se, how do you do that? I remember when I had eyesight back then, with two hands to hold the handle, and sometimes you have to check the time or anything like that. It's so difficult to ride a cycle or a bike with just with one hand. How did you do that? That's my first question. And uh what made you to get into cycling? Like, when did that first thought come, and how was your first cycle ride experience? Did you get scared, or did you think that, oh, this is what I want to do? Or was it like the Harry Potter flying on the broom and then realizing, oh, he's a inborn seeker? So how was it for you, Rajat?
So I was, I think, 7 years old or 8 years of age. And like I've shared this earlier, I made this mistake of thinking that, okay, just because I do not have a hand, my world has come to an end. I will not be able to do 9 out of 10 things, which was the most incorrect approach and a perspective that I had as a silly child. And I did not. So when I looked at the cycle, the first thought that went through my head, you can't do this because you do not have a hand. But something inside me said, just give it a try. And if I can. when you try and cycle with one hand, because as a human being, we're designed and programmed to work two-handedly. I remember I could not balance the cycle, and I could not cycle with proper balance. Thanks to my father, who actually took out the time to teach me cycling. So cycling became such the reason that I'm so attached to my cycling is because this was the first thing a one-handed boy did it at the age of 7 years old, that he felt, wow, this is the thing that I've done by myself. After meeting accidents and after, hitting all the pillars of the society and getting my knees, I have so many injury marks on my knees and elbows. But I just never wanted to give this up. But the day I could actually, my father, that moment comes when you're learning cycle from your elder, and the elder one leaves the seat behind you and does not tell you about it, and you don't even know that the person is not holding you from behind, and it's like you take off. It's like a plane taking off, and I felt so happy. I felt so wow, that life is not coming to an end here. I can do a lot of things. So again, a lot of I started opening myself to a lot of new possibilities, and anything can happen in this world. This world is full of magic and miracles, from that young child's perspective. And from then there was no looking back. I started going cycling to school. I remember all my teachers and all my well wishers were worried for me, because being a person with disability, and you don't want to meet with another accident. So out of that care and concern, everybody was actually after me, to do not go cycling to school. We are worried about you. But I'm so thankful that my father left that choice to me. He said that if you really want to cycle, you can, but I want you to cycle safely and think about it. Otherwise, you can go to school by your school bus. So back in my ninth standard onwards, I used to go cycling to school, which was about 8 kilometers from my house. And yeah, and there was no looking back from that moment of life.
I can imagine, Rachit, like if I was to, if I was your, a person on the road, just, on my vehicle, and then I turn my head around and then see you cycle, I would then turn again the second time to see if my eyes are not deceiving me. So all the best with that. And do you have any ideas, like, future plans in regard to cycling? Do you want to do some kind of adventure with it, or how do you want to take it further?
I'm very fond of adventure. I'm a person who believes in a lot of personal and professional goals. So my personal goals for the coming year and for the next year is, I want to reach, in the month of May 24. I should be at the Everest base camp, and I have put on weight because of my surgery last year. So I've already started working on getting my body more fit and more active. It is always active, but because of the surgery, those 2 3 months, I could not do any physical activity. I want to grow a lot more in my professional life. I want to shine a lot more. I want to do more speaking events. I want to upgrade my house. I live in this very beautiful house of mine, and I want to make it far more beautiful. So it's constant enhancement and upgrading my life, personal and professional.
Great, Rachit. We wish you best with that. So Rachit, you've had different occupations, like, you are a motivational speaker. Then you also did assistant directions of a, Netflix series, and, some other in an animation company and all that. Then you did bartending. You work for Amazon. You are a cyclist. So many feathers to your cap. Is there anything more that you want to take up there?
I just finished a course in tarot cards every year. This is what I share with everyone where I meet. You have to learn one skill every year. So imagine if you're at the age of 16 and you're learning one skill every year, that means by the age of 32, you will have actually 16 skills that you've learned. And then you can pursue whichever skill you want, or you can pursue few skills that you want. So that way, I finished learning tarot cards. I want to publish a book, so I'm going to learn. I have the gift of writing, that's what people tell me, but I want to enhance it and make it more better. So I'm going to take up a writing course. and learn about the art of writing. And then I'm going to experiment with that as well. And every day, even till today, I learn two new English words in the dictionary, something that I don't know. And I try to, that's how I increase my vocabulary. So these are the small little things that I do in my life to make my life better.
Great, Rachit. Yeah, I forgot to mention about writing. You also write poems and all, and we would love to actually someday, if you could share with us, we could share it among our clients, all that you have written. Rajat, my next question to you is, excuse me. So, how did the society, like at large, now, you have achieved so much, what you were back then and what you are now, how does society treat you? Because as soon as you say disability, people either sympathize or array bichara, so how do you handle that? How do you overcome that? And what do you tell people, if they have such perspective?
So, when I was growing up, I was born in a very small city. So, for them to really understand this and accept this, and even when I moved to a bigger city, to understand and accept this and make me part of everything was a big challenge because I would get excluded. Even when I want to go play football, I would get excluded because they would look at me and they would tell me that you do not have a hand. But I'm like, I used to tell them that I have both my legs, I can play football. And I've won best goalkeeping award with one hand. I played football. So and that time I think, and now when I look at it today, when this whole technology driven world that we are in with mobile phones and with this, where I've seen that people have started to become very inclusive, and this the word inclusion is spreading of like viral everywhere and everything. Now there is a lot of corporate companies, a lot of people who accept people with their disability and understand them better thanks to all this inclusive movement that has been going on. From at least I came to know about this moment the very first time in 2014. That's when I heard about inclusion and this, and I see that this movement, I'm so happy and I'm so thankful to God, just not for me but all the persons with disability, that today there is a lot more acceptance of you, and there is a lot more it's more easier for you compared to back in the days. For any opportunity that you want to try, that opportunity will be given to you. Whether you make the most of that opportunity, you crack that opportunity, that is going to be left to you. What I still don't like today, because I'm in mixed bucket, there's one bucket where people feel sorry for me, and I do not like people to feel sorry for me. I just want people to treat me as equal as they treat any other human being, because what the challenges that I face is people either give me a pedestal or people really look down on me. But I just want it to be in balance, where somewhere just respect and equality. I see that. So I every in my day-to-day life, I meet three people in people in three buckets. One, he's going to feel sorry for me. Second, the bucket, that person is just going to treat me normal. Or third, that the person is going to be like, oh my God, this guy does not have a hand. There's nothing. So to share an example of my maid, feels sorry for me. So that's. But I try to explain to her that you don't have to feel sorry for me. And so, but then I've learned today. I used to first go on shouting everywhere, "Don't feel sorry for me! Don't feel sorry for me! Don't feel sorry for me!" But then I've learned today that this is how it's going to be. But when it comes very close to you, when a person, then you can inform that person, but you can't go and change everyone. But some things have to be accepted the way they are. But when as soon as I come across someone who I meet and then he starts feeling sorry for me, I very, very politely tell him that you don't need to feel sorry for me. It's so I just treat me like you treat everyone else. So that's how I today this thing. And I really want to shout out to all the persons with disability. I meet people who are visually impaired or person who cannot hear, but their talent, their potential is, oh my God, it's aplomb, the way people are doing things. So there's no reason for anyone to stay back or, have an excuse to not do something. Everyone can accomplish what they truly, truly want to desire.
Thanks, Rachit. That's so well said. I request the participants to be ready with your questions, because after my last question, question. We'll be opening the platform for the participants to ask Rachit questions. Um, so Rachit, my last question to you is, our participants over here, many of them are visually impaired, some of them have other disabilities, and some are acquaintances, well-wisher, parents, family members of these participants. Then we have LVPI staff members here. So what is your message, or what would be your message to those who have disability? If you were to directly talk to them, hey bro, this is how it is, what would your message be to them?
My message to all person with disability, this is from my own personal belief system, and this is what I have figured out. I have not read this in a book, or I have looked for something outside, but within myself and from my own learning. Of course, disability has given me a lot of challenges. I had to go through a lot of challenges. Even to find a job, I would go to 10 companies. I would, sometimes when I wanted to work in Goa, there's not a single cafe or a single shack in around that North Goa that I haven't been to. I've walked to every one of them to get myself a job, but I never gave up. So, first thing, you never give up, no matter how difficult your disability is. I also started to laugh on my disability, and I make fun of my own disability. And that's what makes, I believe that if you can laugh on yourself and if you can laugh on your disability, you overcome the irony by at least 50%. So life is so beautiful. We've forgotten how to smile. We've forgotten how to be happy with all the experiences of the past that we are holding on to so close. So it's time that you let go of it and move forward each day with smile and with being positive. And I always try to figure out another way. And of course, being one-handed, of course, there are certain things which will not happen the most perfect, and I even accept them as the best, because I believe that this is the best I have done and this is the best I can do with it. So, and always keep moving forward in life and keep working and making a better future.
Thanks for that wonderful message, Rachit. Thank you so much. We are sure our participants are listening to you and they will take in their message into their lives. Thanks a lot. And now the platform is open for the participants to ask you questions. So if you have questions, please raise your hand. You can We'll unmute you. And secondly, like if anybody wants to type in the chat, you can do that. Do we have anybody with questions? Vinay, is the stage open for them to unmute?
Yeah, yes, Aishwarya.
Okay. You can ask him anything about his life, about his cycling experience.
Please don't feel shy. This is the promise. You can ask me the most personal question, and I'm going to come out very candid about it. And whatever the truth is behind that question. So please don't feel shy. You can ask me any kind of question. If you want to even ask me a question that how would I do a particular two-handed task, I can even show you right now how I do things. So anything.
First of all, greeting. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, what I'm asking, my question is, what's your qualification, sir?
Yes, I'm actually a graduate from. I have done my graduation in arts. How I now today, if you I every day learn something new, and I you can ask me about a lot of any topic, and I could speak about any topic, is because I'm open to learning. So there's a lot of things I know about psychology, but I do not have a degree in psychology. There's a lot of things I know about hospitality, but I might not have a degree in hospitality. It's because I just keep myself open to learning. So yeah, if that's answering your question, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anyone
The best
else?
part, I just want to add back to the gentleman's question that I was answering. The best part today is we have access to knowledge which wasn't there in I'm a 90s raised child, and we didn't have access to knowledge until internet and everything. So you can actually learn anything and everything, even if there are certain courses that I want to do which are very expensive, but I can still find a lot of information on the internet for free. So knowledge is free now. Knowledge is powerful. You have it all.
Anyone else with your questions? Or I can actually do a rapid fire round
There
with
is a
Rachit.
question in the chat
Yes,
box.
Devagaru.
Uh,
Yes,
from
please, if you could read it out.
Rishit. Good afternoon, sir. First of all, you are a great and positive person. Can you tell me how can you ride cycle with one hand?
How I can ride my cycle with one hand. Yes. So initially, I would not be able to balance myself, and I want to give this experiment to people who can. If you actually go out and take your cycle out and try riding it with one hand, and please don't try this on the road or highway. Just try it within your parking where somewhere it's very safe. You will not be able to. It's very difficult. So I had to constantly work on this and 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 work on this with accidents and falling down and hurting myself, where I finally learned how to balance with one hand. And today that balance has become so perfect, it's so perfect that I can cycle the highway, I can cut through traffic here and there. I can, so sometimes I think maybe I can say this, it's applicable to humans in general, that someone can learn something in 1 minute. Maybe you might have to go through 10 minutes of learning or 10 years of learning, and you have to give that effort and you will get the result. I promise you on that. So that's my cycling experience, where I used to, honestly, I've crashed a lot of cars back in days. I have banged into a lot of walls and a lot of things, but then every moment has been a learning and how to. So now this hand has become strong. There is only one hand, but I believe that this hand has the power of 10 hands. And what has also happened is, you can now, back in the days, your right hand would always have the back brake, but today you can make I mean, sorry, the right hand would have the front brake. Most of the cycles back in those days would have right hand. And in general also, if you see, even today, all your bikes have a right, your right hand is your front brake and your left hand is your back brake. But today you can change that, you can change the wires of it. So I am lucky now I have access to back brake, because if I have access to front brakes, it becomes very difficult for me to cycle fast, because if I have to brake, I'm going to fly off the cycle, because immediately the front tire is going to be, is going to be braked. So today, when I have the power to brake my back tire, I can speed a little bit more. So I can, it becomes more easier with technology and determination, and not letting the failure get the better of you. That's what makes me cycle.
Thanks, Rachit. I think, Beulah ma'am, you had some question. You had raised your hand, and there's somebody in the chat by name Ramya. They had asked a question. Beulah ma'am, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. So, Rachit, I know you're a very positive person. I would like to know, if at all, if you have something to fear, what is that?
I'm
Do you have
sorry,
anything like that?
please
Do
say
you
that
fear
again. I
on
didn't.
something?
Do you have something? Sorry.
Do
Fear.
you fear anything?
Fear anything? Do I fear anything? If you had asked me this question 6, 7 years ago, I could tell you what I'm afraid of. But over these years, I believe your brain is like a computer. You can actually program it. So the moment I'm going through thoughts like anger, being negative, or fear, which is the most toxic thing that can come out of your brains, and it can, so the moment I come across that, I actually chant to myself. I believe in a lot of spirituality. So the moment I'm having fear or have a thought that is going to come in as fear, my mind immediately triggers me. Oh, you're going through a fear state of mind, Rachit, what is wrong with you? I immediately start chanting, I'm a child of light and I'm one with the light. I am powerful, and so these, so it's become like an automatic thing. So today I'm not afraid of anything. I do not have fear of anything. I go cycling down the hill in the mountains where my parents do not know this. I hope my parents don't watch this. And I do not have that fear. I take that risk because I that word is not there in my dictionary anymore. And yeah.
Rachit, am I audible? Yeah. Hi,
Yes.
Rachit. This is Anisha. And I'm listening to you since last 25 minutes now. I'm very much inspired by you. Thank you so much. And I wanted to ask you one thing that, you are from which place?
I moved to Pune
Okay.
in the year 96 or 95, 96, I suppose.
Okay. All right. And what is your motivation, Rachit? What motivates you all the time to go ahead?
My goals motivate me to go ahead all the time.
Mhm.
I'm sorry,
All
one
right.
second. So the things that motivates me, I hope I can answer your question. I
Yes.
look at things very realistically. I'm 36 years of age, and death is inevitable. I have that
Mm.
time till I die, and how do I want to make that time? And how do I want to live that time? Do I want to live it in grief, sadness, and sorrow, or do I want to live it in happiness, joy, and laughter? And that the moment that thought triggers into my head, I change my this thing. My goals keep me going. I have goals. Okay, I'll try and show it to you guys. I have this little belly over here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So
Yes,
I'm
we are.
working on my belly right now. I want to lose that belly so I can be fit. I want to go and do I want to go for the Everest base camp in May 24, and I'm going to do whatever
Mhm.
it takes to get there, you know. And
Mhm.
all my efforts will go in there. And the other thing that motivates me is, okay, I'm going to share a little personal story of my life. um I come from a very poor family. I have I grew up watching people wearing Nike and Reebok shoes, and I used to be like, wow, that shoe looks so cool. You know, that shoe looks so amazing.
Mhm.
So, and today, by the grace of God, I have worked so hard and I've built my own house and I've built, and today I don't look at that Nike shoe the way I used to look at it as a child, but I remember it that, yeah, that shoe used to be a very big deal for you. So, the point of the story is that I worked very hard to get everything. And I built my empire one step at a time, one step at a time. And today, for example, just to share one personal thing again, I had a sound bar of a JBL Infinity, and today I've just gone and bought a Dolby Atmos sound bar of Samsung with the 9.1.4. And so I kept myself with big dreams. And even though I did not get it in one day, but I've worked one step at a time. I've saved my money for it. I've done everything. So it's my goals and my purpose that keeps me motivated to do things beyond potential.
Great.
And a lot of love and support from family has kept me going as well.
Yeah. Another one question, Rachit. So, apart from cycling, I know that, you're doing this with great passion. Apart from this, do you do something else as well? I mean, are you working somewhere or, what's your background that way or professionally?
Yes. I'll share actually a motivational speaker. I'm from animation and VFX industry. I have worked on projects like Marvel Avengers, Ant-Man, Zero. There have been so many projects that sometimes I can't even remember their names, but I've worked more than 30 VFX animation projects of Hollywood and Bollywood. If some of those movies, you will actually see my name in the credit list. And then I currently work with Amazon because in pandemic, the whole entertainment industry had a hit, and recently also they're facing a lot of challenges because of ever since ChatGPT is in the picture, a lot of people are
Mhm.
losing jobs. So I just wanted a more stable job, so I moved my industry again to from animation and VFX to Amazon, and
Mm.
I currently work in Amazon. And yeah,
Okay.
and I'm a cyclist. I'm just trying to recollect if I'm not forgetting anything to mention. My tarot cards, my cycling, my animation. I'm a motivational speaker. I work with Amazon. Yes, that is the thing that I do as of now. And I plan to publish a book, which will probably be in 25. The way I've done my calculation for my future plans.
Great. Awesome. Awesome, Rachit. Thank you so much. Hopefully, I can connect with you sometime because I also come from that background, disability background. I'm a person with low vision. So yeah, really looking forward to meet you soon and connect with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Please, you can take my number from Aishwarya. All of them have my number, and I'll be happy to be in service
Sure.
and connect with you.
Sure. Thanks,
Thank you,
Rachit, also
Anisha.
for connecting.
Thank you. Devagaru, do we have some questions in the chat? We'll just quickly read that out.
Yeah, like there is one from Remia. Thanks for talking to us. In this era where people get depressed with small petty issues in life, how do you keep yourself motivated? I think he
I
answered
think
this
that's
question
already
many
answered.
times.
Yeah.
And another one is from Rishit. Thank you, sir. You are positive. Can you give some tricks on being positive? Best wishes. I think this question is also answered.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is one appreciation note from Rebecca. She said, we are blessed, love your fighting spirit and humor too. Best wishes for your journey ahead. I think you raised your hand in between when he speaks about his fitness. You have queries for him, Aishwarya?
I
No,
want to
I think I
answer.
raised it by mistake. I think. Sorry. Sorry, Rachit, you were saying something?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to come back to the question by P. Sony as sorry, it's not P. Sony, it's Rishit. Give me some tricks of being positive. So what I do is, of course, I'm a human being as well. Even I get into a negative phase in my mind. But what I do is I constantly monitor my thought and my mind, and I keep trying to tell my mind, "Arey, why are you being negative? What's so first you when the moment you start, your mind, right? It's just like a computer, like I mentioned, right? So the moment you talk about you decide to be positive and you follow that pattern for 5 to 10 days, right? Automatically then it'll become even a subconscious part of your body. So the moment you will actually become negative, your mind will tell you, Arey, what are you doing? This is not you. And you can immediately come into awareness and quickly come switch your this thing to it. It's like it's like the train, how they have those train tracks, and once you press that button, then the train is decided to go that particular route. So it's something like that you got to do with your mind. You got to, whenever you're getting any negative or any fearful thought or an angry emotion, just calm yourself first and quickly. I know I can now it's become a habit because it can just quickly change me. Like in 2 seconds from being negative, I quickly change myself to positive. It comes, it's very easy, but you got to first try and practice. Okay, I'm going to give all of you guys one home. I give 2 homeworks to everyone today for 1 hour. Okay, for 1 hour, forget your girlfriend, forget your boyfriend, husband, father, job. Just that 1 hour, I'm asking you that 1 hour, and just spend time with yourself. Keep your phone away, because even that 1 hour, if you have your phone around you, you're going to spend that 1 hour and ask yourself, what is it that you want to do? What is it, the things that you can do? And the second thing that I always tell people is, you need to figure out how you can do those things and spend time with yourself. And today, all of you will do this activity for the next 10 days of your life. You're just going to write 5 things that you're grateful for. I will share my personal thing with you. I have this dictionary, I have my book here, and I'm even going to show it to you. I don't write the date because I didn't know that I would show it to someone. So I actually write 5 things that I'm very grateful for that day. My handwriting is like the doctor's handwriting, so you will not be able to. But I'll read this out to you. I started this activity 2 days ago. Okay, so the first day I've written, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for the house. I'm grateful for happiness. I'm grateful for my cycle. I'm very grateful for my maid who comes and helps me to clean the house. uh, this next day I've written, then I wanted to write new things. I did not want to repeat myself. So I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for the food that I eat. I'm grateful for an event called Aura Speaks, because certain events we have some special memories that we take back home. So I'm grateful for that chewing gum that I had, because I was in the mood to eat a chewing gum and I found that chewing gum. So it's that small little things also that really matters. And this is what people tell me, that what they learn from me is I really know how to be happy even with the smallest thing. That smallest thing makes me very happy. So this is what people keep telling me. So then I'm convinced now that maybe that is the thing in me. So the smallest or the biggest thing, everything makes me happy in abundance. Believe that you have in abundance.
Thanks, Rachit. Thank you so much. Do we have more questions, Devagaru, or any participants here? If you have more questions, maybe we
One
can.
question, Aishwarya, one second.
Appreciation from Sony Uma Kotluri and Rishit again for thanking Rakshit for this answer of his questions.
Given that we have 5 minutes, we can take one last question
Yeah, I
from
have
the
one question,
participants.
Aishwarya.
Yes, Karthik.
I want to ask Rachit, why is that you have not opted for an prosthetic hand?
Yes, I'll give you the answer for this. Um, this is I'm so glad, Karthik. Thank you for bringing this question up. Really appreciate that question. Um, the one thing that everybody's becoming a victim today is body shaming. I myself have been a victim of this. We all want to look in the most acceptable way for according to the society, and I see how people are getting affected. Oh, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too dark, blah 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 blah. But why do you let so I honestly, when I was a child, of course, I did not like the way I looked, and I was a victim of body shaming, and I would want to get that artificial limb just to look more accepted, just to look more presentable. And I would see people would try to click photographs with me by hiding my disability. I could see all of that. When I grew up, I got myself a disable the artificial limb, and then I realized, okay, it does definitely make me look good or makes me look so-called normal, but it does not serve me a purpose. It is just a hand that is lying there. So why do I carry that heavy weight on me just to look more accepted for people? No, then I decided I don't need that hand. Then of course my parents wanted to get me an electronic hand which will make all the movements. Then I thought to myself that it's been so many years that I've lived without it. Now, when I'll have the second hand, and I've experienced this in a virtual game where I have both the hands, I really don't use the left hand because it's become a part of my conditioning from the age of 6 to the age of 36, that I have not used the left hand. So I will never know how to use the left hand. So that's why I do not get an artificial limb, because it does not serve me a purpose today. And I do not want to have this to look good or to look appealing for someone else. I think I'm Shah Rukh Khan, and I don't go out there to prove it to anyone, and I do not show that in my body language, but somewhere in my mind it is that yes, I'm nothing less than Shah
That's
Rukh
You
correct,
sure
Khan,
are
Rachit.
Shah
in
Rukh
all my
Khan, Rachit.
humility.
Hi, Rajit. I just want to
Thanks, Rachit. I think
ask a follow-up question. Sorry, please allow
no
me,
problem, ma'am.
Aishwarya.
No problem, please.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Rajit. Yes, you're with whatever you said, but don't you think, that would have added more, functions?
It could have eased your life. Bionic
The
hands
the
with
the left hand. Um, See, I've been living in this house alone by myself for 6 years. I have never come across a task or anything in my life missed my hand at the from all the perspectives this story. I have never come across a situation in my life where, oh my God, I always thought, yes, show you YouTube videos of people tying lace with one hand as well. So every time I found a way how to do things two-handedly. Now, recently, space in my houses where you see a chair right now, there used to be a cupboard over there, and I could not move that cupboard. There is no way that I could move that cupboard because I wanted to move that cupboard from the TV room to the bedroom. But these are such small things, and I'm like, what is the big deal? I'll just call two people and pay them money and ask them to move the cupboard from there to there. It's not my daily thing. So how does it make a difference to me? That's how I look at it. The only place where I really missed my hand is when I was in Dubai. I wanted to ride the roller coaster. I wanted to ride the fastest roller coaster, which is in Ferrari World, Abu Dhabi. It goes 240 kilometers in 6 seconds. Now, because I don't have my hand, I could not sit on that roller coaster, and you don't know my level of determination. And when I want something, I really want it, and I'll go all the way out. I've even written letters to the king of Dubai, to people. He's seen my letter. I can see that but he could not do it. Now, there are, so very honestly, see, there will be certain things I can't do, but it's okay. I made peace with it and I moved. I just, I moved forward. and mind. I have trained my mind, and I've given myself, okay, I will allow myself to be sad for 1 day or 2 days, or something like that. That's the protocol I live in, because I don't want to be stuck up with my past. I don't want to, so I cannot move forward. So okay, I've had this. If I so when I come across an irony, I just tell myself, be upset for 24 hours, let it all out, express yourself, cry it if you want to. But after 24 hours is done, then there's no looking back at that incident. So this is how I don't know if this will make sense, but this is what helps me. Where so I get upset too. I have a bad day as well today. I'm as human as everyone. Maybe I can have a boss trouble, or maybe I can have some other kind of an issue. But I just give it 24 hours only if I have to be upset about it. But the second day, then I never look back at it. So these are the kind of programmings that I've done to my brains that makes me be very to the person that I am.
Thanks, Rachit. Thank you so much for that. It's really, as we keep talking to you and knowing more about you, it's like we want to know more, but time is playing the villain here. But if any of the participants reach out to Rachit, we could share his email ID. You can write to him, and so if you are all are interested in in knowing more about such events, we'll be happy to share with you the helpline number. You can contact us 04068102841, 6810 uh 2841, or you can also dial 42, and the numbers are in the chat. And if you want to, like, if you have missed this video, or if you want to know more about, if you want to share this video with anyone, we'll be putting it up on YouTube. And if for any such updates, you can follow us on Facebook. Both the links are put in the chat box. And I now request Devagaru to please give away the vote of thanks.
And I just want to add one last thing. As a child, I did not have the courage to ask questions. So if there is someone out there who has a question and is feeling shy, you can contact me personally through Instagram or Facebook. I'm all available, and you can place your question even personally to me. Or if you come across a question later, I'll be happy to answer that question as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rachit.
Thank you so much, Rachit. You are a fantastic inspiration. When we listen to you about the cycling adventures and how the transformation happened with your childhood friends, and from a troublesome boy in our class to a person who has a lot of leadership skills now, and the sacrifice your parents made to bring you up in this leader, because this we are seeing with many parents even in our center, and the amazing ways of overcoming your physical and mental challenges, because every one of us struggles with that, and you have given us a lot of hope and the tips on how to overcome that, and the mantra of not giving up, and the way you upgrade your life, learning one skill every year. These are all the message for everybody. We have to really take life in an interesting way. And your message for persons with disabilities, and to be watchful about your negative thoughts and how to come out of it, and your exercising things of being grateful for. So I feel you are one of the real heroes of the life, and thank you so much for being with us, Rachit. Do visit us sometime when you have time, and keep in touch with us. Thank you, and thank you everyone for attending this evening. Thank you, Aisha.
Thanks a lot, Devagaru. Thank you, Rachit. And I thank all the participants. Hope you all have a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. We can disperse now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good weekend. Happy weekend. Life is beautiful, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Wishing you the same. Thank you.